Today we are unboxing the new Scott Cassell Deep Dive Automatic Watch from Luminox. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Luminox brand, the company was started back in 1989 based on a desire to provide a better kind of illumination on analog watches that would make them readable at any time of day or night or in any light conditions. Then in 2010, working in conjunction with Scott Cassell, an expert counter-terrorism operative and a consummate undersea explorer, Luminox developed and launched its first 50 bar or 500 meter, 1500 feet deep dive automatic watch series. These are the pinnacle of the modern dive watch, both from an aesthetics and functionality point of view, as well as build quality, which is why I'm really excited to unbox the latest offering in this range today. This is the Scott Cassell watch as it comes. So comes in this foam packaging just to protect it, and this really kind of cool pelican case, which is obviously not only a great way to protect the watch but also a kind of funky packaging as well. Opening up the watch, we see we have the actual timepiece itself with plastic protection on it, various model numbers and whatnot that you can see there. We'll just pull that off and pop that aside. Now this is a 24mm rubber band with the 3 prongs to make it that little bit safer. We'll just pull that off so you can see that. As we remove that, you've got the 3 prongs there, which keeps that nice and strong. And then of course on the back here we have the Sea Wolves logo, which is one of Scott Cassell's, or this one's actually the Undersea Voyager project. The Sea Wolf was the earlier version of Scott Cassell's dive series, which is a project that he's involved in for protecting the seas. You can see here that we have the bezel lock, which actually protects the crown winder from being able to be knocked during use, which then locks in place, and of course stops the bezel from being able to turn. So you move that out, move the dials to where you actually need them. It's for depth and time. It's a single directional bezel, so if we want a 20 minute dive time underwater, we're going to set our mark there, lock that bezel back in place, and now it can't get accidentally bumped around during diving. So we have a 24mm lug width on this particular watch, which is good because it's, you know, it's a beefy band without being overly large. I personally find that sometimes the 20 or the 22mm bands are just not strong enough when you're carrying a big heavy watch body like this. I like a 24mm lug width. We also have, as you can see here, we have a Swiss movement, which is of course great because Swiss movements are some of the best quality movements. Around the outside of the dial on the hour markers and also the hands themselves, we have the hour markers, which are the Luminox Constant Glow series, which glow for up to 25 years, along with our date, our second hand, our minute hand, and so on. Now this is an automatic movement, which means this particular model is powered by the movement of the watch. So as you move your wrist backwards and forwards, the watch winds itself. If you don't wear it for a couple of days, you'll obviously have to give it a bit of movement to wind it back up again. But the beauty of these particular watches, or any sort of automatic movement watch, is that because it's a mechanical movement, you can pass this on to your grandkids and your grandkids and all the way down for years to come. As long as there are jewelers out there that can fix mechanical movements, you will always be able to keep this watch running. Which is why I kind of prefer these over some of the quartz movements. Even though the quartz movements are great, this can become a collector's piece. The case height itself is 17mm, which again, you know, you've got inbuilt helium valves, you've got a mechanical movement, you've got a crystal surface, you know, so it's hard to keep that in a thin watch. But personally, I like a bit more chunk to the watch. I like a case that's a little bit bigger. 44mm and 17mm case I think is a great size. It's got a bit of substantive weight. When you wear it on your wrist, you can tell that you're wearing a watch. And I just like the chunky look and feel of this particular watch. And the overall weight anyway is only 165 grams, so it's not an overly heavy watch. The other thing I particularly like is with this watch you get a strap extension. So again, if we're sort of looking at this here, if we take this off, if you're wearing a wetsuit or a dry suit, as is often the case, then this just simply goes on here, which now extends your watch strap by that much. So you can fit it on over the cuff of your dry suit, you can fit it on over the cuff of your wetsuit, or even if you're just out in the field doing operations and things like that, it'll fit on over your parka if you want it to. It's actually a fantastic idea. I really, really like it. Then in the side here, we've obviously got all of our manuals and so forth. We've got the warranty card that comes with the watch to make sure you've got your international warranty. If we pull some of this stuff out, we have the instruction manual here as well. Then you've got your automatic instructions. So for the automatic movement, tells you a little bit about what to do. And then obviously a bit of promotional stuff around the rest of the stuff in this series, how it was sort of developed, how it was tested. And the testing guidelines are really important too, because this actually adheres to a lot of the international dive standards. So there you have it. This is the latest in the Scott Cassell automatic dive series from Luminox. This is a really, really pretty watch. I really, really like this watch, and I couldn't recommend highly enough. I've had earlier models in the Luminox Scott Cassell automatic range. I still have them. I wear them frequently. They've been super robust. I've been really happy with the performance. Much like the Navy SEAL watches, the Recon range in the Luminox range. I mean, I've never had a problem with a Luminox watch, and I've worn many, many of them over the years. I've got a lot of them in the collection. I really like them. So I think anyone who buys this will be super, super happy.